All right, so it looks like it's working. Listen to the recording. It's okay. It's fine. It's not a terrible microphone. But now I can walk around. I don't have to worry about the distance between me and my phone, and I can still keep the microphone recording. So that's the point of this whole here thing. So I'm like, how the fuck? How do I? What is this? What am I doing? I don't have much to say most of the time, but then it's like, I kind of do. I kind of do. I have a lot to say, mostly on like society bullshit that is irrelevant to most people. Because it's like, look, I know I get the cognitive dissonance. It's like, no, do you? Do you though? Do you know that stems like? Do you understand that that's an addictive behavior? Do you know that? That's the reason why they do that. It's an addictive behavior to be a gaslighting cunt and to get this thrill that you hurt someone and had power over them. Like they talk about grooming here. I had like this safe place which wasn't safe. But hang on, but it might have been because statistically, that's you know both ways can happen, and it can be nebulous and neutral or gray area depending on how it is you want to fucking say it. But let's get into the fact is like I was getting groomed as a child, and then like someone finally gave me love and affection. Like, no, you thought it was love and affection, not infection. You thought it was love and affection. You corrected it. Oh my god, I can't fucking go after that now. I'm like, oh my god, here we go again. This fucking asshole we just did on the December 1st. Like, fucking shitheads. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. They're so stupid. How are they stupid? They're stupid. They don't even have an S. They're so stupid. Anyways, what I'll tell you is it's like, okay, so they didn't learn what love and affection is and what a manipulative, but that's not manipulative. That's just sexual kink play. That's what that is. That's kink play. They're too young. I'm like, they weren't explaining that. They're not too young, obviously. I see this on TikTok. I see a girl on TikTok. I have emotionally neglectful parents. They started fucking trying to do this shit with adults. That's when I'm 14, and now like I don't know the difference between safe boundaries and this fucking And I'm like, yeah, because you weren't explaining that, and then like you basically got this addictive behavior need met in a non-safe manner that's an addictive drug to you. And you can keep going back to it because, like, oh, yeah, no, I suppose I could just let them do that. I suppose I could just let them do this. And I could get that fucking drug. I could get that fucking, that high, that feeling that made me feel better. That's basically all what society does. I'm gonna fucking tear down this person. I'm gonna get this high from tearing them down. I'm gonna get this high from acting like this. I'm gonna get this, you know what I mean? Like it's a high. It's an addictive behavior. Same thing with refuting, and you need to do the whole like show us your work. And I'm like, yeah, because I want to influence you, like you. I'm not looking to be like you. I don't want to be like you at all. Do the work yourself, bitch. Jesus fuck. It's not hard to get Google or other things out. Go down the whole detective thing and have a fucking adventure yourself and think about it for yourself without me influencing your decision, thoughts, actions, and interpretations of what this happens to say. I'm not looking to be like you. I'm not trying to create a narrative. I'm not doing anything other than like, this is a thing. I'm not going to do nothing. Not to mention, there's some shit there that, like, depending on how I got it, how you get it, it can be gray, it can be totally illegal, to it can be a legal thing. Because, hey, if you didn't know, information ain't always free. Some things are censored, and you have to get around censors. You see that in other countries? It's like, oh, America doesn't do it. Oh, America obviously does it. For sure. There isn't a single country that doesn't censor. Yeah, I want to go back to the Kanye West thing because I got off track. I was talking to my mom. It's like, hey, Kanye West, before you say anything, happens to have a perspective that says these producers who are kind of Jewish, a lot of them are Jewish, and they kind of control a lot of my actions, what I'm allowed to say, where I go, all this shit. And it's like, it's conspiracy, there are all these things. And it's like, so he went down a rabbit hole of like, I'm having these issues. And the fact of the matter is, we know that they're in clubs that do ultimately decide what it is that gets shown or not. But they're not all Jews. And it's not all of them. And it's really just him equating all of these things to the wrong thing. It's a bunch of rich fuckers that talk, make rumors, have these various goings on with themselves or not. They talk. And it's like, you're talking about insider information. And I'm like, it's not, though. It's not what it is. You're just talking among friends and having your opinions and everything else. And you can't do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, you have that much power. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not illegal. And as long as nothing's directly stated. Which even then, how the hell do you get that? Yeah. Like, yeah, no, we just lied. We didn't do any of that. Meet in person, clothes and everything else. It's the dumb ones that don't wait. It's the dumb ones that fucking leave paper trails and online internet trails. It's not hard to fucking see that they can do this. It's not hard at all. And it's like, we were just talking among friends. And I'm like, sure, but you're agreeing to work together and have a particular outcome because you know that like that's how that's going to work after that amount of experience and handling the public and manipulation of media and public opinion, which is like, that's PR moves if you didn't know. That's what PR does. That's advertising. Yeah. It's like, it sounds so crazy when you say it like that, but yeah, no, that's just what PR does. But that's literally what they do, yeah. And it's like, why the hell do you think I'm like, QAnon just said some shit that some of it's got some truth to it. But I went off the Kanye West, all of the Jews. And I'm like, yeah, no, but then nobody like fucking explained to him. It's like, look, this is the reason why. Or if they did, it's like, yeah, but there's more to it than just like you're acting erratically and strange, and like I get this, and it's like I'm sure there were arguments and all the rest of it, and I'm sure he's like, all of these motherfuckers, and I'm so powerful, I could say this and I can fucking get away with it. And I'm like, yeah, watch that. And it's like, and then they were like, oh yeah, no, so we're just gonna bury you in media and everything else. You know what I mean? The PR move to try and get him to change his fucking behavior and everything else. And it's like, you think a billionaire is gonna like, billionaires can't do nothing without us. We have more power and control than you, and we're not billionaires. You know what I mean? Which I'm sure they can say that, or pretty much they can make them feel that way. And next thing you know, like a person's now totally thrown under the bus, and there's no conversations like that happening. It's just like, I love Nazis now. And I'm like, geez, he's sinking himself further and further with the doubling, tripling, quadrupling down behavior that you see with someone that's gambling and trying to go up against a perceived threat that they happen to have in their minds. There's evidence that's way better than what you have. Because I know these producers, I know I had the conversations, I had this stuff happen. I know that these people do talk, and they know that they do fucking decide what to put out there and what not to put out there, and when to hold the information and when to release it, when to get in front of something, and all the rest of it. That's a thing. That's a thing. If you don't know, that is a thing. He knows that. You don't know that. You're probably a regular ass public. Never fucking knew about any of that. Meanwhile, he feels completely justified because he has more information on something that makes him think that all these people, but it's really just anger, frustration, and attributing these issues in his life to one thing instead of taking the L, which is not what you want to say. It's like having responsibility for your actions and thoughts and realizing how someone can perceive him and where that can go wrong and cause these issues of people not treating him the way he would like to be treated, thus causing anger and more frustration until the point where it boils over and you cause erratic behavior as a result on both parties and justifications for straight up like bullshit that makes no sense. Bullying, canceling, anger, doubling down on fucking racism and hatred, or complete inability to simply just talk about something and try and figure out where the hell his perspective just came from. Because it's like, I'm already aware of that perspective. But most of the fucking people I see online, the comments aren't anything like this. They don't know about it. And it's like, you sound crazy when you say it. But I'm like, I'm not in any way arguing for Kanye. I'm arguing for the fact that, like, hey, there's a reason why this happened. And there's a way to prevent and change it. Address it. Allow for the change. Allow for people to make mistakes and grow and happen to have a reasonable view of, you have this perspective. Where did it come from? Did they ask you this? Did they say this? Is this a thing that happened to happen? Like, what led you down this path? I would love to know. What makes you really believe that? And I want you to not phrase it like you're phrasing it. I want you to really dig into your emotions there. I want you to begin towards the key start of these issues. Where did this start happening? When you had this Kim, situation going on with yourself and this inadequacy, insecurity that started occurring, Kanye, because, you wanted to change, you were societally pressured, you had all these other things that were going on, you were kind of probably not feeling it. And she was getting more fame and fortune than you, more power. And you've always grown up in this misogynistic view and world. And you were always the best one. And people were talking about someone else. It's an insecurity that you have. That's a thing. That's just one. It's like, I can already see that perspective. Like, he reeks of those issues. The lack of actual self-confidence, but portrayed as confidence because I need to, portray that and feel like I've got it because I'm going to fake it till I make it, but I don't have it. I'm an imposter. I'm not God. I don't have any of this talent. All my shit's garbage. Other people like them. I'm getting nowhere in my life. People suck. I suck. Everything sucks. And they're just laying on me. And I can't do anything. You see the breakdown? Because you can see it in his fucking frown. You can see it in his body language. You can see that easily. Now, am I going to argue for the Jews? Absolutely. I go for the individual approach. There are individual shitheads. Sometimes they group up individuals. They could be all walks of life. They could be all sorts of religions. They can be all sorts of things. But they're all individually them and their beliefs and philosophies. And yeah, I know they're working together, quotation marks, which is what I have to say. But it's like you kind of they do though. They do work together. They do talk. They do make PR moves. They exchange money. They exchange emails. They talk in person. They have a goal and outcome that they're looking to achieve as a result of doing these things and trusting each other, working off of favors and money and all the rest of it. That's a conspiracy at that point. But it's like, no, 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 because it's legal or because of whatever else. That's just not what it is. But it is. We just say it's not. But it's like we can't police them. They're allowed to have money. They're the ones that run the country. They're allowed to fucking do. How do we police people that have money? Because they're the ones that don't need to be policed. If you ever get money, do you want someone taking over your? And I'm like, wow, geez, okay. How about just not being a conspiratorial garbage fest of like really dickish ego fucking pumping and vanity? Yeah, how about that? How about that? Because you're irrelevant. The vast majority of I'm special. And it's like, I need to fucking feel special. You're not doing enough. Invalidate everything with you. That I didn't get any. Well, I did, but like I'm also actually really hardworking and all these other things. So that way I get that need met that validates the issues that I happen to go through. And while I know that most of you probably could have done this as well, and maybe some of you even better than me, I cannot accept that. I need to feel as though I'm valid too. So I'm going to have that perspective. And it's like, yeah, ouch, isn't it? It's easy to see. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Perspectives are easy to find out and figure out. It's easy enough. Like any therapist, and I'm not one, but any therapist will tell you, hey, you're not the only one dealing with that problem. I see a lot of clients, patients that are having these issues. And it's not to be like, you're not special. It's to be like, hey, other people are having these issues, man. And like, I know it might seem like you're all alone in this, but you're not. So, keep going. Try and make it work, you know? But what do you get instead for those people? You know what I mean? This is my problem I have with them. They have the ego issue. They have the need to be special. They have the need to justify their lifestyle, their beliefs, their money, their opportunities, invalidate, gaslight, hurt, push down, oppress, not allow for the fact that someone else could be as good or better, and they just simply don't have the money, time, energy, or effort. It's wasted quotation marks on just getting basics done because of a system that is very hard to change and progress through. And then they use anecdotal evidence of a few percentages of people that I did it until everyone else can do it. I love that one. I'm like, I did it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You know you're rare for a fact. You know that. If you don't get that, then it's like, oh, okay, let me give you an example of like, let's say a Jay-Z. Let's say Jay-Z here. We're gonna talk about Jay-Z. This motherfucker projects all this stuff, right? Do you know how many people? Tens of thousands. In fact, at this point, it's a couple 100,000 because we're in 2022 and he's pretty old. That never made it. And they had the same talent or more, and they didn't have the people that just saw them, and they did all that work to try and get noticed, and they didn't because that person was angry, frustrated. I don't want to do it. I'm not thinking about it. We have enough and more. Or, I just personally don't, whatever reason it is, like that look, this person, that guy, girl, whatever. Doesn't matter. Could be anything. Literally anything. And that bias is a selection bias, by the way. Influences who's gonna fucking get up there like Jay-Z and who isn't. So you're apt to try and people please the producers that are gonna make you rise up and give you a lifestyle that you'll want. And it's like, huh, how many of you don't realize that's exactly what the vast majority of you that happen to make it in many different fucking walks of life got as a result? Like, the reason why you made it is because someone liked you. You gotta, whoop, guess I'm gonna decide to just invest or do something. You got luck. You're not the only one that has talent and skill. You're not the only one that is liked. You're not the only one that, you know what I mean? You just happen to be the one they're like, yeah, I guess I'll go with them. For whatever reason. Seriously? Yeah, for whatever reason. For whatever reason. Take your pick. Personality, looks, intelligence, skin color, religion, you say the right shit. Doesn't matter. It's whatever the fuck got you there. Even if you believe you are talented, there's many other talented people, many other smart people, many people. You just happen to be there that day. You happen to fucking meet that person. They caught wind of you. You kept putting in the work. Sure, is what you can call it. I guess you lucked the fuck out. You know how many fucking viral people that are online that just lucked out? They went viral because they hit the right things and people decided to go, what? But it's like there are certain people that know to share. You think things go viral without people that are big influencers in the sharing world and the virality world that know things are going to blow up? You think there aren't fucking producers in that regard? You think PR people aren't literally using that to basically like, I'm going to talk to them later once they get big. I'm going to share this, get them big. You know what I mean? So that way they can use that. Like, that's going to be my next client. That's going to be my next whatever. But I need them to actually be worth my time. So, like, I know I'm going to have to do just a smidge. And the rest of it will take care of itself. You think people don't control that shit? They're the ones. They got this. I've got a little bit of power, and I'm the one that knows that most likely some of this is gonna go big. I have certain narratives I want to push. I have certain beliefs I want to keep going, biases that I want people to have. I want people to think like me, act like me, all the rest of it. And it's like, it's more than PR. But, truthfully, they do it too. And it's like, that's not a thing. And it's like, that's a thing. It's genuinely a thing. It's not hard to do. It's not. Until you're hoping for those people to give you a shot. The vast majority, I'm trying to convince often that they should give me a shot. As if I don't know that they're there. As if I don't see what that is. As if I'm not aware of all of that. As if I'm not smart enough to see all of it well before I even tried. and even got messed up by the system. This is another reason why they probably don't want me to go. Like, we like preying on people that aren't smart enough to know about this until after they've gone through it. That makes it so I can run certain contracts that they're not aware are more or less going to screw them over. Not pay them what they should be reasonably paid. I'm now the one with the power. Because you're innocent. You're prey. People really don't understand that that's in all walks of life. We're just talking a talented musician. They're just like, no. We're talking all the places. There isn't a single fucking teacher that doesn't do it, that tries to get certain grad students, certain studies approved. They have a like. There aren't physicists that don't take a liking to certain people and try and get money and grants given and approved. Same thing with businesses, with the various politicians getting subsidies for themselves, those business people. It goes on and on and on, up and down that ladder. Anyone that doesn't fucking realize this, it's like, well, you're just praying. You genuinely don't understand that you are never going to get an opportunity unless you got luck. And the people wanting to approve it for whatever reason, because you didn't show off all your shit, but they fucking now really go into it. Want to know just how much you are worth and how much they can squeeze out of you, how far you can go, what they can get out of it, all the rest of it. So it's like, I don't know, man. The Kanye situation is literally, it's like, wow, look at the public doing exactly what I knew they were going to do. Exactly what I was believing and seeing that they were going to get done and do. No difference there, man. Hasn't changed for decades. Think I'm the only one that sees that? There's enough people that have had enough experience that are in those circles that see that shit because they spend enough time watching it, just like I did, and they know or have gotten through college. And they didn't brute force it like I had because they were just able to learn about some of it instead of brute forcing it like I have, which is clearly I have a high level of intelligence because it's like, oh, who the fuck? And it's like you have to see a lot of moving parts to see all those little different things in the machine that we're in. You have to go step by step by step by step. If you can break down an engine in your mind, you can eventually figure out the whole fucking goddamn way society works. The programming, the way the neurolinguistic programming, the way the other issued personal beliefs or philosophies or religions happen to influence over time, subtly, sometimes many, many ways, much further than you believe, even as an atheist. Because it's based, those fears are based in religion. It's been thousands of years of the same one fucking trying to get beliefs forced into, those fears forced into, those ideologies forced into, the rights and wrongs and morals and ethics forced into what you happen to believe, think, like, want, and the rest of it. The views you're willing to accept, the discomforts you're not willing to push past. And that's a thing. It's a big thing. It infects pretty much all walks of life and everyone. It's a virus of the mind. And you have to eventually treat it. You have to deprogram. You have to unlearn. You have to start looking in a more objective, unbiased way with more neutrality and starting the process like you did with cognitive behavioral therapy of challenging beliefs. Statistically, it's unlikely for it all to be these things. Actually, wait a second, we know how much they can control what it is they put out there. In fact, we've seen that for sure. We know that certain corporations or groups are the ones that happen to have the majority of the influence of what gets funded or not. We know that they have a hard time being able to get the right amount of information, especially when we're looking at the fucking legalities of some of this shit that only just recently shown up. No wonder why, like, past studies are wanting to be thrown out because they were legal to have that information and not need to go to the authorities. And so you could be more neutral with your observations. And there is a different sentiment about a lot of things, which influences behaviors, thoughts, and all the rest of it. So every time I think on and on about this, it just gets worse. It's like, hey, no one's changing. People are gaslighting. Everybody wants to fucking just be the big guy. Nobody really wants to do the work. They just want to fucking, I got this one idea and I made it big. Instead of like seeing all the moving parts, doing the work, putting in the effort, trying to put together the moving pieces, see it in a larger scale, how it all connects. They want to be famous without having to really have talent. They want to be intelligent without actually thinking about the things that they're thinking they know and figuring out if it's useful, relevant, possible. They just simply grind and continually. Oh, I love this one. We have a very particular view of what it is that this science data is interpreted to mean. We cannot change that. We're going to do all the workarounds to make it work. Instead of how it is it can be interpreted in another way that happens to be connected to these other things that manage to basically solve the very issues that we are trying to work in our workarounds desperately to make this fucking thing still relevant and right and true. Insert psychology. Insert fucking lots of society. Insert lots of bullshit religions, philosophies, and more. Insert all the personal belief, bias, selection, data crap. And what do you know? It's like all the things. I don't want to change. I want to freaking make this work. Learning to let things go that aren't working and then switching it up is a real useful talent to have. You saw me with my whole like, hey, you know what? There's this thing with this thermal photovoltaic. We can make it a tube. We can do all this great. Yeah, it's 40%. And I read the article. I was like, oh my god, these are ginormous graphite, liquid tin thing, antimony garbage. All of it's got reflecting garbage. It's not very good. It's not 40%. It has a bunch of shit to make it 40%. And it's not worth it at all. But it's like, hey, you know what? The concept's still decent. How do I make that work? And so I come up with a micro and nano, when we can get there, version of a steam engine, Stirling steam engine, effectively. Cold on one side, hot on another, a bunch of little itty bitty nano to micro sizes of these iron nitrate magnets and, piston heads and rods with the right valves, and then as it heats up, it wants to, with its pressure, go into the chamber. It goes through a couple of them, and it goes out, and it goes off into the little, heat sinks. It radiates itself off. It makes electricity during that process, and now I've got a waste heat generator. It's about as efficient as anything else. In fact, it might even be more efficient. But it's perfect for an idea and concept design work solution for engines. It is. You might not like that, but it is. It's like, it isn't. It would never work. I'm like, yeah, no, steam engines never work. Sure. We don't already have micro engines and micro generators. Sure, that's not a thing. We don't have the ability to build small tubes inside of a structure. No, we can't 3D print any of that. We don't have any ability. This is all right. And I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're saying, do you? You literally are an idiot trying to sound big, aren't you? The tear down cancel culture. I'm smarter than you. You can combine all of them. You can make little micro capacitor batteries. You can do all of it. It's not hard. It's doing the thing. It's coming up with a solution. Being creative, being talented, being intelligent, doing the work instead of just tearing something down. I even came up with the fucking. I did the same thing again with my fucking refrigerant engine design. It's like, look, if I have instead of a side intake, I have a single cylinder compressor that has an intake at the top. It's a larger intake at the top and a smaller exhaust. That is a compressor now. I time it right. I two-stroke it. It opens, stays open during the entire intake stroke. That's going to expand, dump all of its heat energy, give me some power. If I stick a relevant solar panel onto it, a battery, and I get another, and I love this one, radiator, and stick it to the back of my solar panel, get a few mirrors or two, and try and concentrate some of that heat and power generated, and stick it with a controller, an electric motor, and I use that increased electricity and the refrigerant generation to increase the distance of the battery power, which is all I'm doing. It's going to run out. I can get somewhere with that. That heat that's cooling, that refrigerant, that's cooling the solar panel, that refrigerant that's still gaining heat from the air, then gets passed over, because that's the way you'd want to do that loop, over to the solar panel in the rear, and then it goes into your engine. But it's like, hey, the engine, do I really want that style? Is that actually the most efficient design? A piston engine? A piston engine? No, a piston engine is probably not the best design, is it? We would want a rotating engine for sure. A turbine or something similar, because it maintains its momentum and it doesn't have to spend energy to slow down. And so to get more efficiency, we would use a turbine, which can produce electricity just fine. And that can dump into the battery. Is it perfect? Sure, yeah. In a way, I guess. In certain perspectives, you'd be like, this is perpetual. And I'd say, it's not perpetual. It's not. You have to have a smaller inlet. You have to have a larger out exhaust. But it's like, no. You have to actually have a larger inlet and a smaller exhaust to compress. It's like depending on the specific energy, the mass and rotation that we're talking about here, we have to have a certain amount of compression that we need, that is necessary to gain that Stirling turbine design, where it's hotter over there, it's gaining that heat, it wants to expand and put energy into a system, and then it wants to compress as it loses its energy to the turbine housing, which is now your heat sink. It's an air-cooled turbine. Fine, that's good, it's relevant, it helps a little. You can attach them to other solar farms if you wanted to, get a little, I guess, out of it. It's like you take the electric energy from the solar panels and you're not adding, but you're technically adding by the refrigerant. And it helps with efficiencies of your solar panels. It's not the be all end all, but it's a little better. It's an energy recovery system for your solar panels because they're probably going to make more energy. And the turbine's very heavy. And so it's great for a static object generation solar farm. But it's not very good for a car. You couldn't really use it for a car, but you could probably use it for a bike. Maybe even a very light motorcycle. And still be able to get decent distance off of it. Maybe even a decent amount of speed. It's all about weight, power to weight ratios. It's a hybrid system that uses heat in the air, and there isn't much heat in certain places, although here there's a little bit of heat. I mean, I'm in Arizona, so a little different. So there's something there. It all depends. But is it good? Well, according to Reddit scientists on the engineering and science thing, no, it would never work. It would never be a thing. And I'm like, so back to the cancel it and you don't know anything about it, or you do know some things, but is it actually that worth it? And I'm like, they're actually studying refrigerant engines right now for how to get the most out of them. Because that's a genuine, relevant, way of doing something. Now, is a turbine the best way? Maybe. Maybe not. If I'm being honest. A rotating design saves and conserves the energy. But it's not. You're spending some of that rotational energy, just like with the compressor piston engine design. You're spending it to compress on the upward cycle. And you have to use your valves where you close the intake and you only have the exhaust. And you only have the intake and you don't have the exhaust. You have to do that. That way, it's expanding into a given volume in space and importing energy. But it's like, what does a turbine manage to do for compress? And I'm like, it's all about the shape and geometry of the turbine blades and the housing to gain compression. And where it comes out is a huge deal. You can't just pull off the shelf parts to make this work. But you can technically just get a turbo, if we're being honest. But actually, if you really want to get real tricky with it, you don't need a turbo. I'm going to be really real. You don't. What you get is one of those stupid regular turbines, like a small ass, tiny turbine. Because they can sell you tiny ass turbines if you don't know they have them. And because you don't need to worry about quality, because I'm not dealing with that heat. Are you kidding me? I don't have to go 500 degrees Celsius. I'm not doing that. That's not a thing. I'm going to work with refrigerant that might get to like maybe 100 degrees Celsius. Maybe. Maybe. I just need it to be able to handle the specific amount of pressure. Heat, pressure. Kind of tied together, but not perfectly tied together. So, As I go through a regular turbine, it's going to dump that energy into the intake of a compressor that is attached to the axle of the turbine, which is the turbo compressor of a car. I can get a small one. It's not that hard. And that does it. All I have to do is shrink the intake, or exhaust, sorry, of the compressor, which is the intake for the refrigerant, radiators, with a coupler, which is a Bernoulli's principle design, or Venturi, whichever one it is. The point is, it happens to be a cone. Literally, it's a funnel. I can just fucking JB weld a funnel and stick it to a radiator. Take out some of those fins, and what do you know? I've got it done. I have some basic thermal epoxy for the back of a fucking, solar panel, and Bob's your uncle. I've got it done. It's pretty easy, but that's the better design. I mean that. That's a better design because I can stick. And I mean this. An axle or gear, really, connecting point to my turbine and gain a little bit of electricity with a DC generator. Because that's all I need. Which is an alternator, which I can pull off any car. Literally. I can just pull off anything from a car. It would work. It depends on the size of the alternator, of course, because there's only so much energy that you'll get out of it. So you need to match it. So smaller is better. It'll just ramp up its speed. That's fine. Or I can get my fucking basic ass bitch single cylinder engine, and I have to find a 4-stroke overhead cam. I can't do any of that if I'm being honest. But that's the cheaper option. Because that single cylinder 2-stroke cam design doesn't exist. And getting cams ground with no money whatsoever ain't happening. So, what do? I develop my free valve. I have a programming ability like anyone else. Anyone can program. I get a fucking basic bitch fucking Raspberry Pi or something similar. I don't need injections. I just need the timing. And you know what I need for timing for a valve, but that doesn't have nearly that much pressure? Solenoids or hydraulic ram with like barely there pressure. I don't even need much. I just need the bare minimum here. So like solenoids are probably fine. Attach them to the fucking like valve, open the valve at this, close the valve at that, program it for the right RPMs, change it so that way the exhaust is closed, the intake's all the way down to the bottom dead center, closes intake, exhaust opens at bottom dead center. Boom, done, easy, it's finished. And I now have a generator because all I have to do is attach the alternator to the crankshaft and boom, I'm done. I now have literally a generator along with the solar panel to use, and all I have to do is figure out some basic controllers, which I have a bike, an electric bike, that has controllers. Whoa, crazy. What? No, oh, no, they don't. That's not. What? But really, you know what I'm going to tell you? Is like, look at that. What's this? Is that a charger cable? Are you telling me you can plug this cable into the wall with this fucking thing attached to it? It's got this big old box rectangle thing. And that gives me charge to my battery. I just have to like rip out some of the guts and make it so it's able to handle the DC and solder it the right areas. And now I have like My solar panel and generator giving me charge to my battery, which runs my bike? No way. That's insane. I can just do that. It's so easy. In fact, people think it's so hard, but it's not because they don't think about it a lot. You're idiots. I'm trying to make you feel like an idiot, you idiot. Stop being idiots. Be creative. Find solutions. Stop fucking going, it's not possible, so I might even try to think about a way to fucking do it. This is prototyping. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is literally what I want to do. I want to get my bike fucking set up for this. And he's like, why don't you do it? And I'm like, I don't have money for a single cylinder engine. I don't have money for heads. I don't have money for solenoids. I don't have money for a Raspberry Pi. I don't have money for a refrigerant. I don't have money for fucking radiators. I don't have money for a solar panel. I don't even have a computer that allows me to program for the Raspberry Pi. I don't have a soldering iron. I don't have a fucking way of breaking in to my fucking like little rectangular box for the controller that charges up my battery. I don't have any of that. I have no opportunities to be able to make it work. They're mine alone, for my design. I could easily do it. It'd take a little bit of time and give me a great excuse to fucking work on a project and keep me out of trouble. But I have no money for it. Literally no money. And there ain't no money I can get because, oh, that's right, I'm not as functional as people fucking make me out to be. So what that means is I can't go to a supermarket and work the hours. I can't go to a clerk or store and work as a cashier. I can't do the things they think I can do. I can't deal with irate people. I have a lot of PTSD. I have a lot of physical health issues. I have a lot of mental health issues. I can't work like they want to believe for an entry level. And they is the government because that's SSI. Not to mention family, friends, or other random ass motherfuckers I might talk to because it seems like you're so. I had a therapist that came from my clinic that goes, you seem so smart and intelligent. What do you need therapy for? Literally, that's verbatim what she said. I'm not even kidding. It was like, I still need therapy. I had to fucking like, and then she compared me. It was just like, hey, I have to go and talk for 5 days on the phone trying to get a hold of someone just to get my snaps and fucking insurance renewed. I barely got it done. Well, I'm on the phone all day, so it's really not that bad. I hate but that therapist, we had three sessions, 2 of which were short, 15 to 30 minutes. One was the actual full hour. I hate that therapist. She went and moved on to another fucking like clinic. That's why I don't have her anymore. Otherwise, I would have to keep dealing with her. I have a new one. She's into training. Trying my best with that. It's not very good. Is what maybe I say. But it's like she. It's not she. It's the situation. I feel as though the situation is not very good. That's what I feel. It's nothing to do with the therapist. She's trying her best, and she's good enough, I guess. I don't know, honestly. I always just try and give people the benefit of the doubt, but the fact of the matter is I need real therapy. Not just vent. I need projects. I need people. I need things that are going to give me the ability to better my life. I have solutions. I have ways of doing this. I have a way to work up in my mind. I know how to do that, but I don't have money. I can't do the things that are what other people can do. And they compare themselves to me and don't realize that we're not the same. And so there are different capacities and different capabilities and different issues going on there. Well, I'm smart and intelligent, all this. I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't have that money. Otherwise, I would be. I'd probably just wipe the floor with most people. I have great business aptitude. I know how to fucking work a system. I know how to work Reaganomics. I know how to be charming, charismatic. I know how to schmooze. I know how to make people fucking do this, that, or whatever else based upon their fucking dumb beliefs or everything else. Just like all the rest of them. I know how to make people fucking. Oh, that's not a thing. There's no way. It's like near perpetual engine on YouTube, folks. Near perpetual requires energy to start. Requires energy. It stops, but it will eventually get going again. Get out of here, you! There's a battery, but it's meant to power, and it doesn't power the engine. It powers the electric motor. It's near perpetual because I say it is. It's like near perpetual. There's no such thing. Wait. It requires energy. It will eventually break down. He emits this, and the battery just powers. But like it'll keep going. It just doesn't make much. I see what the fuck you did. It's like I know I'm gonna get scientists just drawn in. You fucker. I hate you. I know what you're doing. Meanwhile, oh my god, I never would have thought to do that myself. Virality complete. Ching! Subscribers, likes. Oh my god, all these other things he thinks. Ah, great. I don't know. I should probably do it on a different channel. I should probably do that on a different channel, honestly. Yeah. That's what I think about. It's like, what? You don't want people to know about that? I'm like, no. That's fine, honestly. I don't really give a shit. But you know that's going to be a whole thing. But it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it on the same channel. My Xeon Reality. Fuck it. Why not? That's Rageonomics for me. That's utter Rageonomics. I'm going to get people angry. I'm going to get people fucking talking. I'm going to get people to fucking look in the right way. Because you know what that means, right? We're going to expose a whole bunch of bullshit the entire way through. The way you think, the way you act, the way you feel, your fucking oh so unpredictable behaviors and thoughts and feelings and perspectives. Gatekeeping is rampant with anger. Ooh, yeah. It's gonna work. It's gonna fucking work hard as fuck, man. It's gonna work. Blah, blah. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Uh-oh. It's like, you thought, motherfucker, I was wrong and I was right. You suck. It is not really what I feel. So don't worry. You got caught up in it. We all did. I did too. You're not different. We're all the same. He's hot. He's handsome. He's tall. He's intelligent. He's charming. He's funny. He has mental health issues and he's not afraid to talk about them. And he's trying to be caring and also goes after all these terrible people. It seems like he's the perfect character. But that's just him being genuine. It's not a character. And he's fucking talented as fuck. I hate you. I love you. I hate you. This is going to go boom real fast. I could do it if I had the money, if I had any ability to get it done, which I don't. I have the talent. I can easily program. I can easily do all of this. There's nothing that will stop me other than the money and the opportunity to make it work. But I don't have opportunity. I don't have money. I'm stuck. Fuck off. It's like, that's the truth, though. So I clearly have a plan. I can clearly do it. I clearly know how to. And it's a great project because it helps me learn. Like, oh, so I don't know all the programming? Whatever. This is definitely a project that's gonna make me want to fucking learn programming. This is a fucking amazing achievement, honestly speaking. If I can get it done. And I can. Absolutely I can. If I had money and I had opportunity from that money to do it. What the hell of a pitch, right? But it's not really a pitch. It's just truth. My idea, my whole thing. It's just the truth though. I don't have a welder. You know, I don't have any of this shit. You know what I mean? And I can do it. And I know some asshole listening in right now is like, I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm like, fuck you. I'm gonna shoot you. I am. But it's like, look. You can't do this. I am. And I'm like, wah, 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 wah. And I don't believe you that you can do these things. And I'm like, that's cool. Whatever. Ow. I don't care. Yeah, what do you care? Why should you? Exactly. They're a bunch of dicks and douches. Not a single one of them that's a good person when they act like that. I'm gonna steal your shit. I'm listening in an illegal manner. I'm the government. I'm in this whole hacker collective. I'm a totally fucking needing power and control and all this validation. I'm gonna just steal this thing from this person. I'm gonna kill you. So what if you don't believe I have powers? So what? I know I do. I'm very certain of that. And I know I have other people that are willing to do it and willing to fuck with you and willing to ruin your chances, just like you're doing with me. Who's the one that's in the power dynamic here that doesn't have any say? You. You listening in. You taking my ideas. You trying to be the big one. Leave it alone. Let me get my fucking dues. Let me work. Stop fucking taking my opportunities, you fucking asshole. Leave me the hell alone. I mean it. Stop taking things that don't belong to you. Let me fucking fail so it doesn't work right away. Let me fail and figure it out. Stop fucking doing what you're doing and ruining my life. And by extension, everyone else that believes in me knows I'm talented and listens in. And I can get shit done. Stop being an utter douche that works off of the coattails of others' successful inventions, ideas, and creations of concept. You no talent having dick hack motherfucker. Sick and tired of them doing it. And there's nothing I can really get around on that. That's really, really hard. He's like, hey, yeah, no, I need to hurt things. I need to fucking protect myself. I need to fucking protect my property, my intellectual property. I need to fucking be careful. I need to put things out there that makes it so it's very, very difficult for them to fucking steal it. And in every way, it's obvious how easy it is to find out that they saw the design from me. That means I can go after them later if they so choose to do it, which definitely puts me in a ginormous spotlight and exposes everything else. All because they couldn't resist temptation. And I know that. And I manipulated the fuck out of that. Because, hey, guess what? I'm smart. I'm intelligent. And honestly, some would honestly call me a fucking genius. I'm pretty damn sure. December 7th, 2022, Part 2, MP3, knowing full well that this is going to happen years in advance. Because I was going to get certain things done. I was going to achieve certain results. People were going to figure things out. People were going to steal. People all acted like this and believed I didn't know what the hell they are, what the hell's there, and more. And I was going to win my court case. And I had legal precedent for money, gain, power to come back to me from winning it. Even though the judges are biased, I managed to get new ones that are unbiased for me. Even though I knew that people lied about what they were doing and trying to take from me. Even though I knew that they were going to try and spin and twist something to someone else to try and see, you can't do this, and this is not a real thing. Years in advance. Even gave them ways of doing it with quantum phenomena. All they managed to do is fuck up some poor person's head for a lousy amount of money. Who got so twisted they can't even see reality. They did that. The records are there. All in an attempt to make this go away and sway juries and public opinion and judges' opinion. Knowing full well it was just a belaying tactic to a person like me. There's nothing they could do but make those and only those types of plays. Because that's the tactics they have to work with. And they aren't like me or the people I'm going to get in my court. They're just as smart and know how to take down fools that think they can lie to someone, manipulate them, and then they're not with someone like me and all the rest of them. Gonna find out after it's explained well enough to where anyone sees it, understands it, feels that they might even be able to do it themselves. Because it's so easy the way he describes it. It's so simple, and obviously I understand it actually. The mark of a genius, some have said in the past. Not a bad thing. Comes with baggage, responsibility, people going to you for all these different things. It's terrifying. And sometimes you just don't know something. Sometimes you're working off the best you got. You gotta admit that to them if you want to actually not be a manipulative prickhole like the rest of them. Hey, this is what I got. This seems to be a thing. I'm not really sure what I'm doing right or wrong right now. It's what I'm doing, best I can. Trying to refine it, trying to learn more. Or this prototype is garbage. It didn't work out the way I felt it might be. If it worked, it isn't so good. It's really open for more. It's, next time, that kind of thing, right? You have to tell them. If there's all this fear, paranoia, are they gonna still let me keep trying and developing and researching? I'm sorry, it takes a lot of money, I know. I wish I was just perfectly able to hone in on exactly what might be the issue. I want to do that, but I don't have that information to be able to do it. So sometimes it's going to take brute force. Just lots of fucking testing variables over and over and over and over and over again. It takes money, time that sometimes you don't have, money sometimes you don't have. And confidence in people, in you, goes away. Even though you know you're very good at something, even though you know that you're able to do it, even though you know it works, something's off. And they think, oh, big, strong, I have all this jealousy and insecurity inside. Can't do it because they're not as good as all these people that didn't see my talent and all my specialness happen to say they could do it and they were better than me. Psychological problem that they tend to have. And it's like, you know what? If you had that talent, you had all these things, why don't you drop the fucking ego and help and figure out how to fucking make the thing work? That garbage perspective and ego, internal problems, that's what prevents the innovation. Perspectives and ideas, collaborations, bouncing back, all the different possible solutions from knowledge that you might not have, but they have, breaking down the barrier of success because of a lack of knowledge on a given subject or field of study or something else. And that's different than I am. That's why I know my team, if I ever got one, if I ever got a team, would destroy everyone else. There wouldn't be a single thing they could ever get near me and us and all the rest of it. I'd go so far so fast with the hiccups that are, of course, there still. cost less money, get more done. Because, of course, I'm going to make sure that's not a thing. I'm going to make you drop that shit. I'm going to make you fucking work as best as you can with your peak performance, motherfucker. We're going to work around our fucking environment. We're going to make sure all the things are there so that way you get the best done possible. And you don't feel like you could have done more. That's what I'm going to do. I know I'm better than them. Like that. I know I can find other people like me. I know I can create a team like that. I know I can get my mega, amazing designs refined into something far greater than what they are now. My fusion rocket engine. Whew, wow, that's nice, I guess. It's neat. Yeah, whatever. It's cool, I guess. Sure. But it's not. It's neat. Whatever. Past that. Already got fucking like all those other quantum field disruptive technologies, which I have concepts of. I'm not going to fucking talk about that. Although I have talked out loud, so I should probably talk about that. Anyways, the quantum wave field information that isn't there. I love this one. I love these ones. I mean this because it's like, hey, there's nothing saying I can't put a quantum wave in a quantum field that will collapse at a given point. We already know how to do that, right? But it's like, no. They're fields. They're not particles. You're doing it with particles. I don't want to do it with whatever the hell that is. Get that out of here. Why the hell would I want to do that? I want to interact with the very real stuff that makes the particles appear. I don't want to deal with that garbage. You think I can't make my fucking fusion engine basically sip fuel and belt out something that never should be that powerful? Yeah, I can do it. You think I can't make fucking faster and light travel without the necessary need for this idea? Of gobs of heat and pressure and power and energy. I'm gonna make this so efficient it can probably run off of a goddamn suitcase generator. Fuck yeah. I do have a couple of designs. In fact, a couple my ass. I've got a few. More than just a couple. And I know damn well certain ones of them are extremely dangerous and I should never do them. And I mean that. I really mean it. Some things should not be played with. Because they're dangerous. Like, hey, remember when we started playing with nuclear reactor fissile material? Before we knew what it really was starting to do to us? Let's not maybe make some of those problems happen. I know some of them are way too dangerous. If even a smidgen of what I'm pretty sure is what will happen, the results and the way they come about are dangerous and possibly very, very, very deadly. Yeah. So, I'm just gonna move on. But the resulting tech ideas have a basis in engineering quantum phenomenon. Stuff that we already know, have seen, and for sure are things that happen, for sure. There's just putting pieces together, like an engine. Again, like my chip designs, like my fusion designs, like, these jet engine rocket fusion designs, all these cool things that I put out on Twitch like a while ago. Neat. Come further, but that's still my shit. And I want to do that. I don't want anyone taking that. And I know how to make them work way better than someone else. Because they're my designs and I don't tell the secret sauces. I just go, the concepts are there. I know you can do it. You're the one that's not aware of something I am aware of. Something more. But then, you always know that they fucking listen to me and steal my shit, as you're aware of the hacker collective and everything else now in the future. So they've been trying to fucking phone home that bullshit and pretend they don't work on this in secret. And that I'm not about to fucking ruin their lives as a result. That way I don't have to go to court. That way I don't have to do any of these things. It's not worth it. And there will be other courts and other things that I have to do. I gotta get going.